Hey guys, Joe Madden here, the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. I'm joined by this afternoon Kevin Thomas. We are going to talk some MLB, some NBA. Kevin, how's the day treating you?
It's great. I mean, the weather's picking up here. I mean, now we're out of the rain and tornado scares, and we're gonna get 70 degrees today in Pennsylvania. That's nice to see. So
Oh, I'm
great
glad to
weather.
hear you're getting some nicer weather that way. We've had some great games in the last week since we've talked. What are you thinking so far of this NBA playoffs with the Golden State Warriors blowing out the Mavericks last night?
I kind of didn't touch that game because I expected the Mavericks maybe not to show up so big. Or yeah, no, I had a lean on the over, which I kicked myself in the ass when I woke up because I realized they just played the Suns to no one figured the Mavericks were to advance. Everyone thought it'd be the Suns. A lot of people thought the Suns would be in the championship game. So when a team exhausts themselves like that, especially on the road, they're usually for a letdown, and they were a huge letdown.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one game last night. I was riding that over as well. Looked like it was going to be a nice, easy over in there. The total looked too low at that 214.5. We didn't even get close to it with the Mavs just being held to, what was it, 86, 87 points last night?
87 points.
Oh, it was, yeah, heartbreaker for Mavs fans out there, but it's a long series. It's a series for a reason. Let's jump into some MLB because I know you want to talk a game here that kicks off early. We got the Seattle Mariners taking on the Boston Red Sox. What are you liking
Yeah,
in this matchup?
I, I, like I just said about that series, you got the Red Sox off of a three-game series with the Astros where they actually, their bats started popping and they came to life. Uh, Now they're getting the Mariners, and this Mariners team has. I love the pitching here. I love this young kid, George Kirby, the kid against the Rays, 6 innings of shutout ball. But they're holding him to about 80 pitches, 81 pitches. So I'm looking at the first 5 innings because we got Rich Hill on the other side, and he's actually started gradually. He's got one win out of 6 tries, but that one win was his last start, and he went 6 innings, and he pitched like Rich Hill that we've known for the past 11 years. I think if he does that and the way they coming off a series with the Astros, I think this total goes under the first 5 innings of 4.5, and you can get that for a -110. I just saw over at DraftKings. I use them a lot. I use MGM a lot, or I drive right to the casino and put it right in. But I really like that over under 4.5 for the first 5 innings because this George Kirby, you got to watch this kid. 97.3
Mhm.
mile fastball, and his last start against the Mets, I think he lasted 4.5 innings, but I think that's because of the 80 pitches that they're allowing him. Did great in Triple A. I think he's fresh out of high school. I think he went to Elon College, but I don't. I think he's like 1 year done, and then the Mets drafted him back in the day out of high school. But he ended up with the Mariners, 20th overall pick, first round, and
Yeah.
he's ranked, I think, 32nd or 34th overall in all of baseball prospects, which is huge, especially for a pitcher.
Oh, absolutely. And we got strong trends to this under too. And I love that first half under. But for full games, the Red Sox trending nicely at home to the under against right-handed starters, going 7-1-1 in their last 9 home games in this situation. And the Mariners against left-handed starters, 5-1-1 in their last 7. So I definitely can see this being a lower scoring game.
Well, the Mariners had played 10 road games. They were against your Blue Jays, and in 10 road games in May, 31 total runs. I mean, what's that? Like
Yeah.
3 runs a game?
Yeah.
That's not great.
Yeah, not going to get it done to push any game over, that's for sure, unless they're giving up that many. It's going to be a good game, Kevin. So you're going to take the under in the first 5.
I am, and I will put a little bit on the Mariners to win because that I like to watch the lines open. That was a +115. I think Mariners are getting close to like 30% of the bets, and that line dropped to 105, which is usually a huge red flag for sharp bettors to sneak in there and get on that while you can still get the plus money. I'm not going to go big, but I'm going to have a little bit on that Mariners team.
Okay. Gotta love that sprinkle on it there. Let's turn wheels to the NBA. We've got a great game tonight with the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat heating up tonight. The Heat coming in at a 3.5 point favorite right now, total up to 207. Any thoughts in this or for the series for us, Kevin?
I like the Celtics in game one, but I didn't know till I actually had money on Marcus Smart getting, I think it was 19 points, rebounds, and assists, and they had it. It was up on the book, and but 2 hours prior, he's not playing. I was like, whoa. So my whole spiel was about Marcus Smart shutting down the point guards for the Heat because defensive player of the year should do that. So I don't know anymore. The Heat team is actually pretty good, and my big concern is PJ Tucker. I mean, I'm a huge 76ers fan. We end up with James Harden. How did Daryl Morey, how did he, who was part of the Rockets, know PJ Tucker, 37 years old, allow him to go for $7 million to the Heat when we need defense and we need an attitude? I mean, that guy just don't quit, and he kind
Yeah.
of scares me. I mean, Tatum, he's the he's the Celtics, and he just, he puts up his 20 plus points. If he's not going to put up 40 points, I don't like it here. I think the Heat are a more complete team, and Tatum, 7 turnovers in that game, 16 overall for the Celtics, and that was 19 points for the Heat. And if you look at that score, I think the Heat just took a little time to get going. I would be a little scared. I mean, that line coming down, I think the I think they want you betting the Celtics with the points, and then it's dropping because I think they're getting so much money. So I would I don't have a bet on the game. I do have a bet on a total, but if I was betting the game, I would take the Heat laying 3.5.
Yeah, that's the way I was looking too, because it does feel like a little bit of a trap. We know the Boston Celtics are a strong team. We know what happened in that first game. Do you ever look at quarters or halves in the NBA?
I do. I mostly just totals.
Okay.
I looked at totals for the half, not for the no, like player props and stuff. I do the full game because I usually do
Yeah.
points, rebounds, and assists. I think you get uh, more value there if you do all three of those.
Okay.
Unless you
So this
know who's going to do a triple double. Sorry, unless you know who's going to
was
do a triple double.
Yeah, exactly. So this was one of those games where in the first half of the last game, we saw the Boston Celtics get up on the Miami Heat. It looked like they were going to take the game. This is one of those games I'm thinking I'm going to take the Heat in the first half of this one to come out, get that dominating win. I just worry a little bit about that cover for the full game, but I'm with you. It feels kind of trappy-ish not to take the Heat laying the points here. So I think this is going to be a great game. I'm can't wait to enjoy it.
I agree with you. It's going to be a battle. I mean, everyone talked about the defense, and this thing went pretty far over. The Celtics had 60 some points in a half, but I think Jimmy Butler, I mean, he's above, and you don't hear a lot about him except being a dad of three girls. I knew he dated the Celine Gomez for a little bit, took her out on a couple of dates. But other than that, the guy keeps quiet, except that Phillies game when he came out and said, "Me, you, Tobias Harris over me," and I was one of them yelling, "You're right, Tobias,
Yeah.
why?"
Oh,
So he's
exactly.
he's they say, I think he averages 20 some points, but he's got like some like 7 or 8 40 point games already, and he's not even trying to do that. He's trying to get his team going. He's passing the ball, so kudos to him. I'm rooting for him because Miami's a melting pot. They don't have no real fans down there. They're just all people that hate cold weather living down there. So I do like I will root for him in that series.
Nice. I like it. We can also get Jimmy Butler's points over 26.5 tonight. I do think that is a good way to take it. I think he comes out and has a phenomenal game.
I would look at Victor Elopito's numbers. I just think he's going to come up big off the bench. For some reason, I just like him. I think Smart, being on Vincent and stuff, they're going to need more production from the bench, and I think they're going to let him just fire away. So, and
Okay.
Hero's always going to get his. I think he averages 18 or 20 points a game.
Yeah, and his is at 15.5, and Victor is at 7.5.
I
So
like that. Yeah, that 7.5 would be my big bet for a prop.
okay, it's only at minus 118, you guys. So make sure you go over and grab that. Kevin, thank you so much for joining me here today. Can you let everyone know where to find you on socials as well as where to get your picks?
You can see my Twitter right there, Kevin Thomas 04 for the great Brett Favre. I started a little YouTube channel, Kevin Thomas Off Center. I just give out free picks, and I usually do it right near game time because I really have no schedule. So I just try to find something that I really like, put it out there. It's just fun. Sometimes I open cards and stuff, and I'm always over at Sports Memo, uh, Winning Cappers, Playbook Sports, and Vegas Top Dogs.
Okay, awesome, Kevin. Thank you so much for joining me here today. You guys make sure you go check out Kevin Thomas. You can find him on Twitter, Kevin Thomas 04. What is the YouTube handle, Kevin?
It's Off Center with Kevin Thomas.
Off Center.
Back in the day when I used to do videos, I used to get complained about not being centered. So I thought that'd be a little funny to have Off Center with Kevin
Okay.
Thomas.
Go find Kevin Thomas over at Off Center on YouTube. You guys have a fantastic day. We'll be back shortly. Kevin, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.